Okay, so online dating happens to be a fairly well-known source of dating right now. And so I really wanted to show you kind of the history behind it because actually goes back a lot farther than most of us would believe. So online dating happens to be the second most popular way to find a significant other. The first is by friends and at events. According to a survey by the Pew Research Center conducted in 2019, 3 out of 10 US adults have used a dating site or app, and 11% have used it within this past year. Millennials are most likely to be the ones to actually use a dating website or app. They spend about 10 hours a week on dating apps total. Before matchmaking with mass media happened, matchmakers were very popular and were used fairly often. China, Greece, and Japan relied very heavily on matchmakers. The very first known matchmaking was in the book of Genesis when a servant was sent out to find a wife for Abraham's son. In the 1600s, personal ads started to become really popular. People would post in newspapers personal ads, especially to find a significant other, and usually these were men who were getting old and running out of time to find someone. In the 1700s, it became used more by the gay men and lesbians, and they would use codes in their personal ads so that they can meet up with each other. In 1727, men were supposedly the only people using these ads, but a woman finally decided that it was her turn to use one. Her name was Helen Morrison, and instead of anyone actually responding to her ad, the mayor of the city she lived in sent her to an insane asylum. In the 1800s, men were using personal ads to find someone to have an affair with. Usually it was people a little bit below them. But because it was becoming so popular in this time, con artists were beginning to use these opportunities to use scams on the people using the personal ads. And then in the 1970s, they started creating newspapers specifically for the single people. 1900s, personal ads were starting to become very popular in the United States. Usually it was farmers who lived in really small communities that could not really find anyone. Soldiers were the next group to start using them so they could find wives and pen pals. In the 1940s, a New Jersey company tried to create matches by using data. They were the very first company to ever use data, and they normally charged $0.25 for everyone to get their contact information of their match. In 1959, a couple of Stanford students were working on a project that they called Happy Families Planning Service. They helped 49 different couples on this project, and they used the school's brand new computers and a couple of questionnaires. A little bit later, 1960s, some Harvard students followed that project by creating their own called Operation Match. In this, they helped thousands of people, and each person had to pay $3 to be matched. They continued to go on until 1966. In the 1970s, people continued to experiment for ways to date. Video dating actually began this time, and it became popular quite quickly. And in the 1980s, more and more people were experimenting. People started using chat rooms and electric bulletin boards to help each other. They even started making dating shows. The very first dating show was called Blind Date, and then copycat shows followed afterwards. And then in the 1990s, personal ads were no longer popular because internet came around. And so people were using AOL, Craigslist, Prodigy, and some other online chat rooms to help communicate. 1995 was the first online dating site, which is Match.com. Match.com is still being used today and still one of the most popular. They had about 30 million people using it right now. 1997, a movie came out called You've Got Mail. After You've Got Mail, using online dating became really normal. During that time, people started using email and instant messaging to communicate. So thanks to Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, online dating became even a bigger thing. As online dating continued, more websites were created in the 2000s. eHarmony was created in 2000. Skype was being used for people to talk with each other in 2003. Facebook, Badoo, Seeking Arrangement, and many more were created to kind of help the community of online dating get built up. Smartphones were then made, and with smartphones, what dating websites evolved. And the very first dating app that was used was Zoosk. Zoosk is also one of the very first to sync up with Facebook as an easy login. With that, mobile apps became really popular. Tinder happened to be one of the very first to start the popularity of dating apps. I found in a Pew Research meeting that more people meeting online have more satisfying relationships, short engagements, and lower divorce rates. 12% of them say they have married or been in a committed relationship with someone they met through a dating site or application. And according to Forbes.com, there are almost 8,000 dating apps today. These apps continue to advance. For all we know, the next one could actually be through holograms or a DNA testing set. We don't know for sure what will actually happen, but what I do know is that it worked for me. While dating apps have a lot of flaws, I happen to have met my husband. We both were very questionable about using dating apps because of all of the rumors of people wanting Nick Mo's or just some negative thing, and we didn't want to be one of those people. But we both decided after he got out of a relationship and after I got home from a mission that we would try them out. And after 2 dates with other people, I met my husband, and it worked out great. About a year later, the two of us were married. So although dating sites and applications can seem scary and not the cool thing, I know how great they are, and if you use the right one, I know it will bring the right person into your life. Thank you.